Life was just normal, Like, totally regular until my phone pinged, showing a weird charge from a hotel I'd never heard of, making my stomach drop a tiny, cold knot that just wouldn't loosen. I mean, my fiancée, Brianna, was supposedly on a work trip, but that hotel, it wasn't right, and the way everything went after that, how she and her boss, Mr. Harrison, looked at me last week, smiling like I was the fool, only to see those papers. Man, it's still wild. Before we continue, tell me in the comments, where are you watching from? I'd love to know. My world used to be so clear, Like a crisp autumn morning, all bright and full of promise. That's how I thought about my life with Brianna. We'd been together for 5 years, and she was my everything. Her laugh, like wind chimes, her hair, dark and shiny like fresh coffee, her way of crinkling her nose when she thought something was funny, I loved all of it. We were planning our wedding, just a few weeks away, and our apartment was full of little wedding magazines and fabric swatches, Chloe, honey, do you think ivory or cream for the tablecloths? She'd ask, holding up 2 nearly identical swatches. And I'd just smile, whatever you want, Brianna, it'll be perfect because it's us. I really meant it. I worked as a software developer, a steady job, good pay, and I was so proud of our little life, saving up for our dream home, a small place with a big garden for her flowers. Brianna had started a new job about 8 months ago, working for this big marketing firm. She was so excited, talking about the fast-paced environment and amazing opportunities. Her boss was a Mr. Harrison, a name she mentioned often. "Oh, Mr. Harrison said I did a fantastic job on the presentation today," or "Mr. Harrison wants me to lead this new account. Can you believe it, Chloe?" I was so happy for her, really. She deserved it. She was always so ambitious, so driven. I never thought twice about the late nights, the last-minute trips. "It's just how it is in the corporate world, babe," she'd say, and I believed her. Why wouldn't I? We were building a life together. Our wedding was practically here. My best friend, Olivia, would tease me, "You're practically glowing, Chloe, with all this wedding planning." And I was. I really, truly was. Then, things started to feel off. Not like a big, loud crash, but like a faint, off-key note in a song you loved. Brianna started spending even more time at work. "Big project, Chloe, gotta pull an all-nighter," she'd text, sometimes not even coming home. She'd smell different sometimes, not bad, just a different perfume, not her usual one. And she'd be distracted. Like, we'd be watching our favorite show, and she'd be staring at her phone, scrolling, then quickly hiding it when I looked. Little things, Things I brushed off, because, come on, it's Brianna. My Brianna. She wouldn't. She couldn't. But then came the first real sting, the one that made that knot in my stomach tighten. It was a Tuesday evening, just last month. I was paying bills, something I usually handled because I'm better with numbers, I pulled up our joint credit card statement, scrolling through, checking everything off. Most charges were normal: groceries, our favorite coffee shop, a dress for her from that fancy boutique. But then I saw it, Hotel Paradiso, $280. My brow furrowed. Paradiso? I'd never heard of that place. And it was in a city a few hours away. Brianna had told me she was staying at the Grand Suites for her last business trip, a hotel the company always used. I tried to rationalize it, maybe it's a mistake? Or a different client. But the knot was already there, pulling tighter. When she finally came home later that night, I tried to be casual. "Hey, love, just going over the credit card bill. What was that charge from Hotel Paradiso?" I asked, trying to keep my voice light. She froze. Just for a second, but I saw it. Her eyes, usually so bright, darted away. Then, she forced a smile. "Oh, that. Yeah, Mr. Harrison decided to switch hotels last minute, said the Grand Suites was booked." It was fine. She brushed it off with a wave of her hand, then quickly changed the subject, asking about my day. I let it go, pretending everything was okay, but something had shifted. The music of our life together had a grating, sharp sound now, just under the surface. A few days later, my phone died. Of course, it did. and I needed to quickly check a work email. Brianna was in the shower, so I grabbed her tablet, thinking I could log in there. As I picked it up, her messaging app flashed across the screen for a second before I could close it. It was a notification from Mr. Harrison. Not a formal email, but a direct message. My heart gave a weird lurch. It was just a snippet, but enough. Can't wait to see you tomorrow night, my love. That little cafe has the best wine, just like last week. My hands started to shake. My love, just like last week? The hotel, the late nights, the different perfume. It all slammed into me. This wasn't a mistake. This wasn't a misunderstanding. This was betrayal. My stomach twisted itself into a cold, hard ball. I felt like someone had just punched the air right out of me. I closed the tablet, my fingers numb, and just stood there, staring at our wedding photo on the fridge. Her smiling face, my arm around her. It was a lie. All of it. The picture was still there, but everything it represented had just shattered. I didn't cry. Not yet. I just felt cold. Like a block of ice had settled in my chest. The world went from bright and clear to fuzzy and dark all at once. My future, our future, just dissolved. I knew right then that nothing would ever be the same. The song was over. That night, after I found those messages on Brianna's tablet, I just went through the motions. She came out of the shower, humming a tune, and acted like normal. "What's wrong, babe? You seem quiet," she asked, giving me a quick peck on the cheek. I managed a weak smile, mumbling something about a long day at work. But inside, I was screaming. My mind was like a storm, but I had to keep a poker face, you know? I couldn't let her see. Not yet. The idea of confronting her, of hearing her excuses, seeing her fake tears, it made me sick. I knew, with a certainty that chilled me to the bone, that she wouldn't just admit it. She'd lie. She'd twist things. And I wasn't ready for that. I needed proof. Real proof. Over the next few days, I became a ghost in my own life. I ate, I worked, I talked, but it all felt fake. I was watching her, really watching her, for the first time. The little glances at her phone, the quick messages she'd type and delete, the way she'd flinch if I got too close when she was texting. It was all there, clear as day, now that I was looking. And it hurt. God, it hurt so much. But that pain, it started to change. It hardened into something else. Something cold and focused. I wasn't just sad anymore. I was determined. I knew I needed help, but not just any help. I called Olivia. We met at our usual coffee spot, a tiny place with mismatched chairs and the best almond croissants. I told her everything, keeping my voice low, just above a whisper. Her eyes got wider and wider, her hand flying to her mouth. "Chloe." "Oh my God, no." "Brianna wouldn't." "Are you sure?" she asked, her voice full of disbelief and worry. I just pushed my phone across the table, showing her a screenshot of the message from Mr. Harrison that I'd secretly taken. Olivia gasped. That snake." "And Mr. Harrison?" "The old creep." Olivia was great. She was angry for me, sad for me, and she didn't try to tell me what to do. She just listened. "What are you going to do?" she finally asked. I looked her in the eye. "I'm not going to let her get away with it. Not like this. And I'm not going to be the one who gets hurt and walks away with nothing." I had already started doing some research, late at night, in secret. I was a software developer. I knew how to find things online, how to dig. I started looking into their work schedules, checking public records, even setting up a discreet keylogger on Brianna's work laptop when she left it charging. I know, sneaky, right? But I was desperate. I was gathering evidence like a detective, carefully organizing dates, times, hotel names, credit card statements. I found out Mr. Harrison was much older, married, with 2 kids. A real family man on the surface. The hypocrisy made my blood boil even more. This wasn't just about Brianna and me. This was about a power imbalance, a married boss messing with his employee, and my whole life being tossed aside. It felt dirty. I was building a case, not just for myself, but for what was right. I knew I needed a lawyer. Olivia helped me find one, Mr. Davies, an older gentleman with kind eyes, but a sharp legal mind. He specialized in marital law and workplace disputes. When I met with Mr. Davies, I laid everything out: the timeline, the evidence, the emotional distress, the financial investment I'd made in our future, our shared savings for the house, even the wedding costs. He listened patiently, taking notes. "Chloe," he said, adjusting his glasses, "this is a very strong case. The emotional distress, the potential for fraud regarding shared assets, and the workplace aspect involving Mr. Harrison. You have grounds for a significant settlement and to expose both of them. We can also explore a tortious interference claim against Mr. Harrison, given his position." $3 million was a figure he mentioned, almost casually, based on everything. $3 million. It wasn't about the money for me, not really, but it was about making them pay for what they'd done. It was about proving that I wasn't some fool. The midpoint reversal hit me hard in his office. It wasn't just about being hurt anymore. It was about justice. Legal justice. Financial justice. My plan for revenge transformed. It wasn't just a messy confrontation. This was going to be surgical. Clean. Devastating for them. I felt a strange mix of power and fear. Could I really go through with this? Exposing them, not just to our families, but potentially to the whole world, given Mr. Harrison's public profile? It felt huge. The closer the wedding got, the more Brianna seemed off. Not suspicious, but demanding, almost entitled. "Chloe, did you confirm the flower delivery again? Make sure they're perfect," she'd snap. Or, "Mr. Harrison needs me to fly out next week for a conference, so I'll be gone right up until the wedding. You can handle the final details, right?" She was still oblivious, still living in her perfect bubble, planning our wedding while destroying our marriage before it even began. It felt like she was spitting on me, and that feeling solidified my resolve. One evening, I was working late on my computer, going over the legal documents Mr. Davies had prepared. Brianna came into the living room, grabbing her phone. "Still working, babe?" "You're so dedicated," she said, giving me a distracted smile. She walked right past my screen, and for a terrifying second, I thought she saw the words affidavit or settlement. My breath caught in my throat. I quickly minimized the window, my heart doing a little flip. She didn't notice. She just grabbed her phone and headed to the kitchen. That was my second act crisis. That moment of pure terror, of almost being caught. It made me realize how much I was risking, but also how much I wanted this. Olivia called me that night. "Chloe, you okay?" she asked, hearing the strain in my voice. "Yeah," I whispered, "I am. I'm going through with it." The wedding rehearsal dinner was just a week away. The perfect stage. The week leading up to the rehearsal dinner was a blur, a strange mix of calm and a simmering volcano inside me. Brianna was buzzing with pre-wedding excitement, oblivious to the storm gathering. She'd talk about the honeymoon, about our future, and I'd just smile, a carefully crafted mask hiding the raw hurt and steel resolve beneath. "Oh, Chloe, our rehearsal dinner is going to be so lovely. All our closest friends and family," she chirped one morning, completely unaware of the precise, painful blow I was about to deliver. Mr. Harrison, her boss and secret lover, was also invited. He was a family friend in their corporate circle, and his presence was expected. He'd even offered to pay for a significant chunk of the dinner as a wedding gift. The irony wasn't lost on me. Mr. Davies, my lawyer, was a master of detail. We had gone over the plan dozens of times. Every word, every action, timed to perfection. The legal papers, a lawsuit for breach of contract, emotional distress, and workplace misconduct, demanding a significant settlement from Brianna and a separate, even more damaging one from Mr. Harrison, were printed, notarized, and ready. $3 million. It wasn't just a number, it was a statement. A statement that my worth, my trust, my future, wasn't something to be discarded so easily. The rehearsal dinner arrived. It was held in a private room at a nice restaurant, not too fancy, but elegant. The room was filled with soft chatter, clinking glasses, and the scent of good food. Everyone was there, my family, Brianna's family, our friends, even Mr. Harrison and his wife, looking picture perfect. Brianna wore a beautiful cream dress, her hair styled perfectly. She looked radiant, glowing with anticipation. Mr. Harrison, dapper in his suit, kept shooting her subtle, knowing glances when his wife wasn't looking. They were so confident, so comfortable in their lie, thinking they had me fooled. Their smiles, you know? They looked at me, almost with pity, as if I was the naive one, I was the fool. That made the last shreds of my doubt evaporate. After the main course, it was time for toasts. My dad went first, then Brianna's mom, all heartfelt and sweet. Then it was my turn. Brianna squeezed my hand, a loving gesture that felt like a knife. I stood up, holding a glass of champagne, my voice calm, almost unnervingly so. "Thank you, everyone, for being here tonight," I began, my gaze sweeping across the room, lingering on Brianna, then on Mr. Harrison. "It means the world to us, to me, to have you all here to celebrate what I thought was our future." My voice didn't waver. Brianna smiled, a soft, warm smile. Mr. Harrison raised his glass slightly. They both thought they knew what was coming, a loving tribute, a romantic anecdote. They thought I was about to be humiliated by my own words, by my own naivete. But sometimes, I continued, my voice gaining a quiet strength, the future we plan isn't the future that's meant to be. Sometimes, people show you who they really are. And it changes everything. The room started to get a little quieter. Brianna's smile faltered, just a touch. Mr. Harrison leaned forward, a flicker of confusion in his eyes. I took a deep breath. "For the past 8 months," I stated, my voice clear and steady, "my fiancée, Brianna, has been having an affair with her boss, Mr. Harrison. While I was planning our wedding, she was planning weekends away with him, charging hotels and dinners to our joint account. While I was working to build us a future, she was building a secret life." A collective gasp went through the room. Forks clattered. Brianna's face went from confused to pale, then to a ghastly white. Mr. Harrison's jaw dropped, his eyes wide with absolute horror. His wife, sitting next to him, looked at him, then at Brianna, then back at me, a silent, awful realization dawning on her face. What are you talking about, Chloe?" Brianna finally stammered, her voice thin, panicked. "This is insane. You're ruining everything." "Am I?" I asked, a bitter edge to my voice. "Or are you just seeing the consequences of your choices?" At that moment, Olivia, who was seated strategically near me, placed a thick, legal folder on the table right in front of Brianna and Mr. Harrison. The words "Notice of Lawsuit" were clearly visible on the cover. Next to it was a copy of the key evidence, screenshots of messages, hotel bills, flight details, even a photo of them entering a hotel together that I'd paid a private investigator to get. "These, Brianna, Mr. Harrison," I said, gesturing to the folder, "are papers filed just this morning. A lawsuit for breach of contract, emotional distress, and significant financial compensation, totaling $3 million. I let the number hang in the air, watching their faces crumple. Brianna looked like she'd been slapped, her eyes darting from the papers to Mr. Harrison, then back to me. Mr. Harrison looked physically ill, his hand going to his tie, as if it was choking him. Their smiles, from just moments ago, were gone, replaced by pure, unadulterated terror. They froze, truly froze, seeing those $3 million legal papers on the table. The silence in the room was deafening, broken only by a small sob from Mr. Harrison's wife. "Consider this my official withdrawal from our engagement, Brianna," I concluded, my voice firm. "And consider this, Mr. Harrison, my official notice that your career and reputation are about to be thoroughly investigated. Enjoy your dinner." I placed my champagne glass back on the table, the small clink echoing in the stunned silence. I didn't wait for a response. I just turned and walked out of that room, Olivia right behind me. The world outside felt strangely quiet after the storm I'd just unleashed. My phone started buzzing almost immediately with texts and calls from confused, angry, and supportive guests. Brianna's frantic calls went straight to voicemail. Mr. Harrison's office would be in chaos the next morning, I knew that. My revenge wasn't just about humiliation, it was about reclaiming my dignity, my future, and ensuring they faced real, tangible consequences. The legal process started immediately, just as Mr. Davies had planned. My family rallied around me, shocked but supportive. Brianna tried to reach out, begging, threatening, but I blocked her. Mr. Harrison was swiftly put on administrative leave, his high-flying career grounded. Weeks later, the dust began to settle. The settlement with Brianna was moving forward, and Mr. Harrison, terrified of a public scandal that would expose his workplace misconduct and affair to his company board and family, was negotiating a hefty out-of-court settlement with my lawyer. The $3 million wasn't just a number anymore, it was real. I moved out of our apartment, started looking for a small house with a big garden, just for me. The pain of betrayal still lingered, a dull ache, but it was no longer consuming. I felt lighter, stronger. I learned that humiliation isn't about what someone does to you, but how you choose to respond. I had chosen to fight, and I had won. My story, from that horrible discovery to that powerful moment at the dinner, showed me that even when your world shatters, you can pick up the pieces and build something even better, something that truly belongs to you. It was tough, but I walked away with my head held high and a clear path forward. Remember, sometimes the truth is hard, but finding justice, real justice, can be the most powerful act of all.